Welcome to River Tales. River Tales is a 30-minute program that will introduce you to fascinating people, take you to interesting places, and inform you on events in your local community. River Tales is brought to you by Southeast Health.
Southeast Health. From when you're first expecting to those unexpected accidents, and from fighting illness to staying well. Throughout your life and throughout generations, we'll be here when you need us and where you need us. Southeast Health. The difference is how you're treated. Join us online.
Cape Girardeau takes pride in its rich history connected to farming and agriculture. Our first two stories highlight the bounty of the land. Every Saturday morning from April through October, the Cape Riverfront Market in the historic downtown district offers fresh produce, baked goods, and many other items for a unique shopping experience. And local farmer Kenny Berry shares his story and his love for the land.
The Cape Riverfront Market really came out of kind of a long, for us, from Old Town Cape perspective, it's something, an open air market is something we've been wanting to do downtown for a long time, but it was really waiting to find the right people to get involved and the right time to do it. So, you know, we are always looking for ways to bring more people downtown, and combining that with something like a market that kind of creates it creates community. The way that we have it set up, it is a way for people to have access to something that, you know, local produce, local goods. It's just a great combination. So it's something we've been looking to do for a long time. You know, we've had phenomenal turnout both with the vendors and with the, you know, with the consumers. It was more than we anticipated, particularly on the vendor side. We have more and more people wanting to be involved, and a great turnout with the consumers. People really love it. And we have people who come and just buy produce and leave, or just buy certain items and leave. And then we have people who come and hang out all morning. So it's this wide range of people. All of the vendors have to either grow, produce, or make their items, and they have to live within 100 miles. It has to be done within 100 miles of the market, and they're the ones that have to, you know, that produce it or make it.
We raise alpacas on our ranch, and we are selling alpaca products basically off of their fleeces. So we have everything from the basic spinning components all the way up to finished yarn. And we decided that this was a great venue for us to let people know that we were in the area, and introduce the ladies and the men to some different type of yarn instead of just your basic Walmart stuff. We have seen a lot of response in the community. Our area does not actually have a yarn shop. So we have, not only have we done a great business down here, our business has been good enough that we've actually opened a studio up in an antique building in Old Appleton. This farmers market's a little bit different in that not only do they have the produce vendors and so forth, they've included finished products and art here. So it's really allowed us to bring in a whole bunch of different types of art and introduce it to the community.
I sell custom metal artwork, custom orders, and just kind of whatever I decide to come up with. I went to the Home and Garden show in Cape, and Ross saw some of the stuff that I did with a cell phone picture, and he said, come on down, and that's kind of what started it all. I've done it phenomenally well for just starting out, and the market's been a great place to help. You know, this is my new career path, so it's been a great opportunity for me to pursue it. Well, people come here just for the atmosphere. I mean, you can bring your dogs and you bring your family, and generally days are pretty nice down here weather-wise, and you just get a different variety and a better quality of food, and, you know, actual homemade stuff, not cookie cutter arts and crafts that you would find at retail stores.
Our emphasis is on produce and then value-added items such as home-baked breads and pastries and and canned goods and those sorts of things. We have coffee, we have crafts and arts and people who provide services and just all kinds of things. We had a lot of reasons for becoming involved in this, and one is to really provide the community something they wanted to be a part of and do that in downtown. So we've really kind of checked in a lot with people who attend the market, but then also the businesses around downtown to see, how has that helped those businesses. And we've had overwhelmingly positive response from both people who are attending the market, from the vendors, from the businesses, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been very positive experience. We've had some great volunteers involved in this, really awesome volunteers who have spent hours being at the market, helping with the market and helping plan the market. And their goal really was to create a place where people felt safe in community, could sit and visit and really want to be a part of that. And so they've done a great job creating that. And like I said, we appreciate those volunteers. They're the ones that have really made it happen. It's a big combination of different kinds of farms. Like I said, they all are local. They all produce within 100 miles of the market, but we have a great combination of organic, other kinds of farms, different kinds of produce. It's just a really great mix. But I think one of the main reasons is people really like knowing we're getting more and more in tune with where our food comes from and how we, what we eat and what we put in our bodies. They're very passionate about the market and what it brings to the community. So it's really, for me, rewarding and exciting to bring those people that are so passionate about seeing something like this come to fruition, that come together and make it happen every Saturday. So it's pretty exciting.
My name's Kenny Berry, and I like to think I'm a little bit of a farmer, but primarily we have a lawn maintenance business. Been fortunate that my dad was able to get this farm years ago when I was in college, and fortunate that he let me be here, and so I've been here for a little over 30 years now. But I always had a love for farming. My grandfather was a dairy herdsman for some great, very wealthy families up in the New England area and so forth. My dad's from up there, and just had a love for dairy cattle, and we've had calves and little milk cows, kind of just family farm stuff. That's what we've really enjoyed doing. I had no real ambition to be, big tractors and, row crops and things, or, big herds of cattle. So, but we've always had some beef cattle or calves, and we got into sows and had a farrowing operation. For a number of years, had as many as 55 sows and sold feeder pigs. When the pigs and the hog markets declined drastically a number of years ago, we cut back more and more because we were just losing money, and we got down to just a handful. And I'd always wanted to try sheep, and just always thought they looked interesting, and thought there's something that won't kill me. I hope not, anyway. Weren't as vicious as swine. That's kind of where we're at now, and the lawn business, that's what kind of pays the bills, or helps to. It's not a big money maker, but I've enjoyed working with the sheep, and trying that as something different. They're kind of neat animals, and I think most people that have them will tell you that. It's not necessarily something for the money, but something you have to enjoy because they can be tedious sometimes. Well, as far as the sheep, the product that we generally will sell will be a finished lamb, and then we still have a couple sows, and we finish out a few hogs and sell them to family and friends and people that we're associated with. We got a couple people up in St. Louis that I've got acquainted with, that we've sold hogs to for quite a number of years now. They said we just can't buy meat like that, so it kind of makes you proud when you can produce something like that. One time I ran out of hogs in it, so I went up to the auction barn and bought one for me because I had to sell everybody else mine, and my wife told me after we did that, and she was cooking and preparing it, said, "Don't ever do that again." Said it's not the same. So we're we tend to like to eat our own, and that's partly why we've kept raising. We're down to 2 sows now, but that's why we've kept our own, just because of we know what we're getting. And it's not that anybody else is locally. I think anybody else that raises hogs, they're good too, but we just know what we've got. We raise the animals up. You know, that's part of what I like, is the birthing and raising things from babies. I guess I don't know why. That's when I was at home as a teenager. My job was always taking care of the babies and everything else. My brothers and Dad usually took care of milking the cows and some of the other stuff, and I took care of all the feeding chores and feeding babies and cows and beef cows and so forth, and just I guess had kind of a love for that. And it's kind of neat to watch things being born, especially a sow popping one pig out after the other, and grosses some people out, but I kind of enjoy it. And I think the other thing I've enjoyed too, especially with the sheep, a lot of people like to come see sheep, and it's just fun to, small animals are fun, and I think it amazes me how many people don't know that much about the world around them, as far just the farming industry, and there's so few family farms left, and so kids are coming out of school now and don't have cats crawling around them all the time. They're not used to being around animals, so we've really enjoyed you all today, or a couple friends that are here today, that come out and see the animals. I don't like to lose animals, and unfortunately, buying baby calves a lot of the time, I've learned a lot over the last probably nearly 40 years that I've been messing with livestock, since I was learned from my dad and my grandfather, and just learned a lot on my own. You can't afford to hire a vet to come out, and I think that's the most aggravating part. When we turned some of these sheep out that had their babies, the babies were about 5-6 weeks old when we moved them out into the back pens, and we had a couple lambs just up and die on us, and that's aggravating. So I think that's probably the worst thing. It'd be nice to make a little more money doing it too, but I'll probably keep trying. We just keep trying. We're hoping we're making a little bit. It's never really been about the money. It's just been, I think a lot of it's just been about the lifestyle more than it has been the money of it. And I think if you talk to a lot of farmers, I think that's what you would find too, is the majority of farmers are out there doing it because they love doing it. I think that's what's kept my dad to live into his 80s. He's just finally this winter decided not to turn the beef cows over to my brothers for the most part, but he'll still meddle with them for who knows how long. He'll still bother them about them and make sure they do it right. So I think that's what gave him satisfaction to go that long, and it just becomes a part of yourself. I've always got something here. There's always things here to do. I could show you. I mean, you can look at the fences. There's always fences that need to be fixed. There's fences I want to build, so I have to have good fences for the sheep. If they're not good, they'll either go under it or over it or through it. They'll figure something out. So there's always things, and having been here for 30 years, there's fences that I built that are already needing to be repaired again. So it's just a cycle of stuff. Goes on and on.
Gaming Grounds in Jackson, Missouri has a unique selling point. They offer the newest generation of consoles and games, but also the classics in the gaming industry.
My name is Lonnie Chapman, and I started Gaming Grounds 2 years ago. The main two reasons I opened Gaming Grounds was I grew up in Jackson, and I always wished we had a gaming store, period, besides big box retailers, basically somewhere you could buy used games, save a little money. And another reason was to open up a family-friendly, safe place for kids, teens, all ages to come and just be able to hang out. You know, Jackson has always lacked a true hangout spot, and that's what I wanted to create, and I really feel like we accomplished that. Something really special about the store is the fact that, you know, we're the only place in the county, Cape Girardeau County, that even offers any of the retro games, you know, regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, even PlayStation 1, things that came out 10 years ago. You can't find that anywhere else anymore. And that really brings in a broad range of crowd, all the way from Jackson, Cape, Sykeston, Poplar Bluff, Illinois. You know, it brings in a lot of people. Just us offering those titles brings in people, and we hear the comment all the time, "Oh man, this reminds me of my childhood," or "Oh, this is like total nostalgia." And you know, we never get tired of hearing those kinds of comments. So it's a really nice thing to be able to offer that. You know, some people ask, well, why don't you just quit your other job if the business is doing well? One of the main reasons is because, you know, health insurance is just so high if you get it independently, and a lot of people don't think about that, but you know, my employer offers health insurance, and so, you know, it's worth it for me to stay there and, you know, keep doing a job I love doing and having those benefits while still being able to employ 4 or 5 people, and, you know, creating jobs in the area. And you know, you put all those things together, and it just kind of comes together time-wise.
My name is Devin Winter. I've been working at Gaming Grounds for quite a while now. I've actually been here since pretty much right after they started, maybe 2 weeks after they opened. I met Lonnie really just by chance. I came in after I seen this place on Craigslist and decided to check it out, brought in a bunch of stuff to trade in. He said he saw that I had a passion for video games and hired me pretty much a week after I first came in. I've worked here ever since then. I'm the lead sales associate now. The store hasn't changed a whole lot. We've definitely gotten bigger. We've had to expand out to the back, add a new party room. We're trying to add in arcade machines, you know, stuff like that. We're trying to actually make it feel like a classic arcade in some aspects, because we're the only place that still sells the retro games like the Nintendo and the Nintendo 64. This place is really great when it comes to trade-ins because we have the highest trade-in values around. People say that our trade-in values are head over heels higher than GameStop's or Hastings or Best Buy, any place that trades in games. Where they stop giving $30 30 days after release, we usually stop giving $30 around 40 to 50 days after release. So it gives you more time to really enjoy the game, play it, and then trade it in and get pretty much more out of it than you would if, say, trading at GameStop, where three to 4 weeks after release, you're only getting $10, which we don't really like that.
We do offer birthday parties, which go over really well. We can accommodate up to 10 to 15 people for those, and they're only $30 an hour, which is cheaper than any other birthday party in the area. And it's a really nice service, especially for the parents, because, you know, the kids just come in, they pick out what games they want to play, and they're pretty much glued to the TVs, and it doesn't require a lot of effort on the parents to watch the kids. And so that's really nice. And once a kid from, you know, one party finds out he wants his party there, next thing you know, we're having anywhere from 2 to 4 birthday parties a weekend. So we stay pretty busy, and the birthday parties always go over really well. Part of opening up a business is finding the right place for the business. You know, we looked at a few different spaces on the boulevard, and it was just really expensive. And we ended up coming here to this Uptown Jackson building because it's close to the schools, which is our one of our main demographics. You know, each building owner has their own specific request, and, you know, it just so happens we're in a building that has, you know, a lot of ancient history with it, and so there's some restrictions. We haven't been able to, you know, put carpeting in or, you know, paint the ceilings, things like that. But, you know, we're able to work around it and make it what it is, that still has a modern feel and, you know, a fresh feel for the gaming world. And, you know, we do what we can with it. And we always, anywhere you go, you're going to have to accommodate for the building owner's request.
Since this building is so old and it's historic, Really, we're not allowed to do a whole lot to the walls themselves. We can put posters up, but we're very, very careful with ones we put up. We don't want to put something up there that is going to peel the wallpaper off, because this is essentially wallpaper. It's paint, but it acts like wallpaper. It will peel. We're not allowed to touch the steps area because that is the original paint and the original stairs. If we would do anything to that, our landlord would murder us.
This particular building, the horse, I actually could get rid of it, but he said the last tenant that did get rid of it kind of caused an uproar with the town. Everybody's asking where the horse was at, so I just figured I'd work around the horse.
We're also the only place, like I said, that sells the retro games, so if you're hankering for classic Super Mario or Final Fantasy, we have them, where we usually have quite a few of the rare titles, such as Earthbound and Final Fantasy VII, stuff like that. The stuff people really are looking for that you couldn't find anywhere else. The store itself is doing phenomenal. We are constantly just drawing more and more people in. People are finding out about us just about any way you can imagine. We have people coming all the way from St. Louis down to here to see what we have.
You know, the best thing is the two reasons I opened up the business, to be able to, you know, just see the community, be able to come here and feel safe and have fun. You know, that gives me a lot of fulfillment, as well as people not having to travel all the way to Cape or somewhere else to get used games or, you know, a good deal. And those two things really give me, you know, a lot of fulfillment and makes me feel good about what we do here at Gaming Grounds. And you know, the biggest obstacle is, you know, the economy is still pretty shaky right now, so sometimes I wish business could be better, but I think all businesses, you know, think and hope that realistically. So overall, in 2 years, we know we've done really good here, and we keep growing, which is a good sign. You know, we keep adding staff, and you know, more and more, the more the community finds out about us, even from other areas, and come in and just see the store, and you know, just see their eyes open up and just have childhood memories, or just be amazed by what we're doing here. It's a really good feeling to be able to witness all of that.
Matt Huber and family members started Hubrew, a local beer much to the delight of businesses and fans of the brew.
John A. Hoover, started the John A. Hoover Brewing Company. My wife gave me a home beer making kit about 8 years ago, and started out doing 1 gallon, and now I'm doing over 200. Actually, I started the brew supply shop 3 years ago when I kind of decided not to do the brewery, and then after a couple years, my sons aggravating me that they wanted to do it, so we decided, myself and my 2 sons, to go in business and do it.
My name is Matt Huber. I am one of the business managers, owners of Hubrew. We're a small local microbrewery out of Jackson, Missouri. My dad was a home brewer just by hobby, and I was an MBA student at Southeast taking some entrepreneurship courses. Listening to the speakers over the years tell their stories, how they've started their businesses, really motivated me to you know, look into what it would take to start the brewery, and my dad and brother came on board, and we were all for it, and it wouldn't have been for the speakers that I heard at Southeast, I really wouldn't have got the motivation to really get this thing up and going. As with most small businesses, there's a lot of things that you're not really expecting when you get started. You know, we've had a lot of trials just being a small manufacturer and distributor, comparing us to the large distributors. We've had a lot of markets that are hard to get into, but the longer we've been at it, the easier it's getting. The first sale we had was at Bel Air Bar and Grill, downtown Cape Girardeau. Me and my brother had worked there through college. We knew the owners. That was our first sale, and that was a really big one for us. It got us some good exposure. Schnucks and Primo Vino have been some good stores for us too, and it kind of took off from there.
Cup and Cork has been a good relationship that we've had. They've got all of our beers on draft.
In the middle of July, right after lunch, it was like 112 degrees outside, and it felt like it had been for 6 years. This like 6'3", 4-inch Iowa farm boy looking kid comes busting in here, and he says, "Can I speak to the manager?" And he's red in the face. He's a little out of breath because it was just miserable outside. And I said, "Well, I'm the owner." And he said, "I'd like to talk to you about Hubrew. It's brewed in Jackson." I said, "I'll take it." He said, "It's a local brewery. We brew 2 different flavors." I said, "I'll take it. We can have some here." I said, "Just bring me the beer." I had gone back to finish my undergraduate degree at SEMO a few years ago, and it turned out that Matt Hoover, the son of the guy that was the master brewer there, and I had some business classes together. So almost at the same time we go, business law, right? So it was kind of cool to be doing business with somebody that we both had gone to school to do certain things, and we were both doing them. He was an entrepreneur starting a brewery basically from scratch, even though his dad had been home brewing for years. And it was just cool to be doing business with him. So, and right now I'm proud to say we're the only place in town that offers all of their beers, all the flavors available on tap. I'm proud to do it.
Hey, I'm Timex Seawall. I'm one of the family owners. I do sound and lights, some of the entertainment work here.
I'm JJ Seawall. I do booking, promoting. I'm one of the owners. I do a lot of the bar managing upkeep. You'll see us both here all the time.
JJ was the first one. JJ does a lot of the ordering of the beer. He was the first one to tell me about Hubrew, and then started sort of seeing the signs around. We like anything local, especially here. We like local art, we like local music, we like local beer, we like local wine. We think it's important to support local stuff. We're a local bar for local people, so we try to do as much of that as we can. We have all the corporate stuff that everyone wants as well, but you get that extra special local flavor and local taste. And people who are involved with some of these local businesses, and we like to support that as well as art and music, all of that thing. Who, it's a local flavor. It's something different than you're going to get from, say, a bar in Memphis or a bar in LA. This is local flavor, kind of brings in something special for you. It's like buying local honey. You know, it's just good for you.
Some of the tips I would give other people wanting to start a business is to just ask a lot of questions, seek out help. Entrepreneurs in general are very friendly and they want to help you. We asked a lot of small breweries around the area, and they were more than happy to give us some information and some help. The Innovation Center at Southeast is very helpful too. They've got a lot of resources with their business counselors and planning purposes. But yeah, just don't be afraid to ask questions is one of the biggest tips I would give people.
It's just like a restaurant. You better have your recipes right. You better be able to give it at what is perceived as a value, and you better be darn consistent. Because if your quality of your beer goes up and down, then the confidence from the consumer, from you, is going to go up and down as well, and it's seen as a risk and a gamble. And regardless of there being a casino in town, folks don't really like to gamble with that sort of stuff.
Well, the main thing with any of that is finding something that you like doing and that you would do for free anyways. And then that way you're going to put your heart into it, and you're going to be more excited about what you're doing. The same as the local brews. These are local guys who are doing it because they want to, not because they're trying to become something huge. They just enjoy what they're doing. They enjoy drinking their beer. You know, if you're going to start some sort of a business, find something that you really enjoy. And if you like doing it for free and you start making money at it, then you're on the right way.
Southeast Health. Diagnosis. Treatment. Rehabilitation. Prevention. A system of care. Here when you need us and where you need us. Southeast Health. The difference is how you're treated. Join us online.